Next Ford car, van, or SUV as well. It doesn't matter what you buy. Sholo Ford has the best deal. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
Back here at Sholo High School, where Colton Hager just completed a 24-yard pass to Jake Wolford. As the Cougars lead 7-0 with 7:53 to go in the first quarter. This one started off with Payson winning the toss, deferring to the second half, and forcing Sholo to punt, which Colton Hager did while rolling to his right. Was able to kick it beyond Jesse Conway and have that take a huge Cougar bounce inside the 5. After 3 very conservative rushing plays from Payson, the Longhorns kicked it just 20 yards, but were able to stuff the Sholo rushing attack as now Conway is retreating and taking this one inside the 10, waiting for some blockers as he's not getting much as he's surrounded by Cougars at the 14-yard line.
Great swarming coverage on the kickoff there by the Cougars. At least 3, maybe 4 guys in on the tackle against Conway. Conway really just had no room to go, so great defensive coverage on the kickoff by the Sholo Cougars.
Bad field position for Payson after that Northland Pioneer College kickoff. When it comes time to kick off your college education, choose the college with the lowest tuition in Arizona. It's Northland Pioneer College. This is a little bit better than starting on the 4, but they're on the 14. Got 3 receivers going out to the left. Conway, the single man. No, that's not Conway, but instead it's going to be Klein keeping as he again goes over the left side. He's able to slip through a couple of tackles, get to the 20s, over the 25-30, all the way out to the 40, runs through another tackler to cut back to his right over midfield before finally being brought down at the Cougar 47.
That's a big run. Obviously the biggest play so far for Payson in the football game from their leading rusher, the quarterback Klein, just doing a great job of getting outside that edge on the left side and finds plenty of room.
That Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down has Payson in Sholo territory for the first time. Perhaps those weren't that conservative of rushing plays as Payson doing the same thing here is now a little miscommunication as the pistol set is going to have Klein eventually keeping this one after he had turned in the wrong direction, but able to make about 3 yards out of it.
And as you say, kind of a broken play for sure between the quarterback and the running back, just missed the handoff, but Klein will go ahead and try to squeeze out what he can. He actually ends up getting about, as you say, 3 yards or so not bad for a broken play.
Got Flores. Well, now he's going to be joined by Joseph Ortiz on the right of the line. 2nd down and 7, trailing 7-0 as Ortiz now going in motion back to the other side. He's lead blocker as Klein gets spun around by Avila, but he's going to remain on his feet before he is gang tackled. And 3rd and long now set up for the Longhorns.
That's a big hit there by Avila. He's able to blow through the block at the line of scrimmage and make a big hit on Klein as he's trying to get to the line of scrimmage. So a great play by the defensive front for the Cougars.
Ball's marked on the Sholo. Well, looks like the 44. 6 minutes, 9 seconds left here, and the Longhorns looking to respond after the Cougars take advantage of a short field. Klein starts rolling to his right and is able to get this one just beyond the sticks where he has Conway diving and catching at the 34. 10-yard gain and a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down.
Really nice pass by Klein to find the receiver. It had a kind of a tight window there, seen between the cornerback and the linebacker, and he puts it perfectly right through that window to get to the receiver.
Sholo having to be constantly aware of the mobile quarterback as well, as he had a little bit more of an opening as a result. They got a H-back in front of him as he'll again go in that direction to the left and run into traffic and still fight his way forward for 2 or 3 yards. Avila was there to get the stop after just a 2-yard gain, but it's impressive, if nothing else, the beating that Klein is willing to take.
Yeah, Thaddeus Coriel as well for the Sholo Cougars on that tackle. That was a design quarterback run going right up the middle, but a good job by the Sholo defensive line, plugging those gaps up front.
7-0. Cougars in front, but Payson marching, had used a 39-yard run from Klein as he takes the shotgun snap and again starts rolling to his right, allows everybody to get upfield as he finds Conway inside the 20. It was well defended, but Conway's a big frame, and Hager couldn't get around him.
Well, Hager was there, right when the receiver catches the football, so good coverage by him. But as you say, just the size differential allows Conway to get a couple of yards after the catch there.
Both passes completed by Trevor Klein. That one good for a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down. Into the red zone goes Payson, trailing 7-0 with 4:43 to play in the first quarter. Trips going to the left as the Cougars show blitz, and Klein's going to try to run away from it. Moving to his left, he's got some blockers as he gets upended at the 15, but still picked up a couple.
Well, Cal Fawcett is the reason Klein was not able. It looked for a minute there that he was going to be able to get out around that edge with no edge contain. But credit Fawcett for coming in hard from a corner or safety position. I think he's playing safety and is able to cut the feet out from under Klein before he can turn upfield.
This drive started at the 14-yard line, facing 2nd and 7, and trailing by a touchdown. 3 men in the backfield as Klein will give it away as Alcorta is going to move to the left, but not find much room.
Well, and he runs face first right into, who is that? Whipple. Great defensive coverage out on that edge by Whipple to make the tackle.
Longhorns have been good on 2 third-down plays here on this drive. They've been able to get it into the red zone, trailing a touchdown. And in passing situations, it got Klein, who's been zeroed in on Jesse Conway, who right now is the single man on the left. Instead rolling in this direction to the right, but then finding him on the cross. Catches it at the 10, gets inside the 5. Big dude as he gets down to the 4 and has a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down.
Jesse Conway on the reception.
At Summit Healthcare, you'll find a level.
And he's Conway's actually following other receivers that have already cleared out that area in the middle. So a nice pass by Klein to find his drag receiver to put him within the 5-yard line of Sholo.
1st and goal at the 4 with less than 3 minutes to play in the first. Alcorta's in the backfield behind Klein as they're going to go with the quarterback sneak again, trying to force his way over the left of the line and eventually is going to fall over the goal line. No, he's going to be stopped inside the 1.
Well, he came very close to getting to the goal line. They're going to call his momentum short, stopping at about the 1, as you say. But great line surge by Payson, allowing Klein to get very close to the touchdown on that run.
Make it 2nd and goal with just 1 yard to go. Klein will go under center with Alcorta behind him and trying to go with a quick snap and a quarterback sneak, but it looks as if the Cougars might have been offsides.
That will be the call. Offside on the, I think it was the defensive lineman just lining up offside.
Well, that's a matter of inches, though.
Yeah.
They were already inside the 1. Clock approaching 2 minutes, and now Klein again set up in the shotgun, and again going with the sneak as he approaches the left side of the line, and this time is in the end zone for the score. Touchdown, Payson.
Well, on a run like that from the shotgun, all Klein's really looking for is just a seam where he can get to the ends or get to the line of scrimmage and just fall forward following those linemen, and that's exactly what he's able to do, get the first touchdown for the Payson Longhorn.
Well, they went 3 and out deep in their own territory. This time used a 39-yard run from Klein, and now looking to go for 2 with a crowded backfield, handed off to Alcorta, who's going to go straight up the middle and find another little crease to fall into and get the 2-point score to make it 8-7. Payson in front here, deep into the first quarter. So Longhorns in the lead. This is Show Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Who sells the #1 truck in America? Sholo Ford. That's right. Not only do they sell it, Sholo Ford is the best place to buy it. Why? Guy Hatch guarantees it. In fact, he guarantees you'll get the best deal on your next Ford car, van, or SUV as well. It doesn't matter what you buy. Sholo Ford has the best deal. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
At Summit Healthcare, you'll find a
Well, after the Cougars take advantage of the short field, Payson answers and has a 2-point conversion to take an 8-7 lead. Now ready with the Northland Pioneer College kickoff, as this one is again short and may not remain in the field of play. In fact, bounces out of bounds at the 15. So good field position again for the Cougars. Sholo playing without so many key players.
Illegal procedure, kicking team. Ball was kicked out of bounds. Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line.
As you hear how they are going to be benefiting from the most recent miscue.
Sholo is definitely hobbled coming into tonight's football. Quentin Maxwell, one of their leading offensive and defensive players, he's out. Of course, Keegan Clark, their starting quarterback at the beginning of the year, he's been out for several weeks now. Talon Lester, their backup quarterback's out.
And interestingly, Cal Fawcett on the sideline right now, as Beeler is going to be the single back. They fake the give to him and now have it out in the flats where it's grabbed by Aguilar. He gets over to the 40. And with all these injuries, it's really interesting that the Cougars are putting the ball in the hands of a sophomore quarterback, and he is responding.
He's doing a great job. And actually, it seems to me from previous games we've covered, they're coming out with much more of a pass game tonight as well with Hager.
Got two men coming to the left of the line. Aguilar in the slot as he goes in motion. Instead, handed off to Beeler. Quick burst as he gets to the 39. Will be short of the first down, but that has to be something that the Cougars are very happy to see. There has not been a lot of room for the Cougars to try to run the football, and they're picking up almost 5 yards. It's just going to be 3rd and inches as Beeler again go back as the single man in the backfield. Aguilar in motion, and again with Beeler as he's again quick to the line. This time picks up 2 or 3 and has a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down.
Well, just another quick hitter up through the middle of the line of scrimmage to get that first down. They didn't need a bunch of yardage, obviously, to get it. The other thing I noticed tonight with Sholo and with Hager, they're going to more of a spread or more of a spread offense. We've seen them before with hardly any wideouts, but tonight pretty consistently spreading out receivers on every play.
Go with Beeler as he goes over the 50. No, it's capped as Hager is going to run it down to the far sideline, but all sorts of flags come out as they had that one set up nicely, but this one feels like this may have involved a hold, and Sholo looks like it's conceding as much.
Block in the back, number 21 of the offense. 10-yard penalty will be first down.
Looked like
Correct,
Whipple might have been pushing in the back, and from the spot of the foul will provide Hager with a 2-yard run. But he would have had a first down. Instead, facing now 1st and 8 with the ball just in Sholo territory at midfield. The Cougars are trailing 8-7, and there's 18 seconds remaining in the first quarter here as they go with that same formation. Beeler fake the handoff to him, now throwing it over the middle where it's had by Aguilar, and narrowly running out. Now he's still on his feet at the 30, trying to get to the right sideline before being upended at the 28-yard line.
Travis Christensen, one of their linebackers, able to finally track him down and just pull him down with a tackle. But that's a great run after the catch by Aguilar. Just an outstanding job by him.
And that is how the first quarter ends with the Cougars, their 3rd-string quarterback out there, but moving the football again deep into Payson territory, trailing 8-7. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk167.com.
Level of care you might not expect from a rural hospital. We've recently received 5 stars from CMS, a prestigious ranking that less than 5% of facilities in Arizona earned. Our cancer center has proven its level of advanced care with a national accreditation from the Commission on Cancer. And we continue to add more doctors and services so that you don't have to leave the mountain to find the care you need. At Summit Healthcare, we're elevating care here at home.
I guess because of the quarterback, go into more of a spread.
All right, heading into the second quarter, and Payson leads Sholo 8-7. Get a moment now to give you the Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center injury report. Summit Regional Medical Center has everything your athlete needs to get back in the game. We've been talking about this throughout, but Talon Lester, now the most recent quarterback for the Cougars, that is not available. Keegan Clark has been unavailable for about a month, and we're also going without Quentin Maxwell. He is technically their 3rd leading rusher because Clark is still their 2nd leading rusher despite not having played in so long. But it just gives you an idea about all the bodies that the Cougars are playing without. But Colton Hager right now has put on his cape, and he's performing heroically as he sets this one up to again. Whoa, he wanted to pull that one back, but Beeler wouldn't allow it. I don't know if that was supposed to be a little bit of an option or if they just have not yet jived with their communication on that give.
Well, another key player for Sholo and one of their big players, Zachary Maxwell, number 9, he's playing tonight. but with a pretty obvious limp, so he's not, doesn't look like he's 100% either.
Aguilar coming in motion. This time he gets the call, moving from the left to the right, gets toward the 20, and picks up 4 yards as he falls down at the 21 to set up a mid-range third down play for the Cougars.
Trevor Klein coming up for the tackle for Payson. But again, Sholo in good, almost into the red zone here against Payson on their end of the field, on the Payson end. We'll see what they can do here.
It's 3rd down and 3 right at the 20 as Aguilar again comes in motion. They fake the handoff, and Jaeger's rolling to his left. He has time. Now he's going to tuck it, starting to get to the sideline, but Payson was able to recover, and he gets spun down hard, fumbles the football, and it's going to be recovered by the Longhorns.
Yeah, so, and also just watching how Jaeger was carrying that football one-handed.
You've been there waiting for.
He ends up losing it on that hit out on the edge, and Payson will take full opportunity to jump on the loose ball.
Porter Flake was the initial player there, and then Trevor Flores, I think, was the one that punched it away. But he was being spun around by Flake pretty violently, and again, just a sophomore. Not a lot of body mass yet for Colton Hager. And this is a costly fumble as they had gone into the red zone with that one. Bad field position again for the Longhorns, but Payson was not too concerned with that on its previous drive.
Dead ball, false start. 5-yard penalty, first down.
But make it the 14. All right, so that 5-yard penalty, and the first time the Longhorns have had any offensive flags thrown against him, as Klein from the shotgun drops back looking to the far sideline, but he's going to overthrow everybody. Fawcett limping as he tries to pursue that one. That might explain why he's not playing anything offensively right now. It's just a mash unit here for the Cougs.
Well, Klein showing a good arm on that pass. Pretty ambitious considering where his receiver was relative to the pass, but still able to cut loose with that deep pass. Unfortunately, just not a chance at all for the receiver to get there.
3 receivers bunched up on the left of the line as Klein has a high snap, but he brings it down. Again, tries to come over to the left side of that line of scrimmage. Spins away from one tackler at the 20 and bullies his way down to the 25. Gain of, 12?
Yeah, nice run by Klein. Even after the contact, you can see here just continuing to move. He had a good spin move there to gain a few extra yards. One of the reasons I'm sure why he comes in as Payson's leading rusher for the season.
Well, he's got 64 now as there's a high snap, and this time tries running to his right, has the Mountain Mobile Autoglass first down. He goes over the 30 and then takes a tackler down to the 35.
Well, Clyde's a good-sized kid, 6'2", 190 pounds as they have him listed on the roster, but also has good quickness. And you can see offensively a lot of their plays are just him receiving a snap in that shotgun and just looking for a seam to run through. Doing a good job of that so far.
This drive started on the 13 after the penalty, is this time with the shotgun snap rolling to his right, then winds up, throws this one where it's completed at 40 to Porter Flake, and he gets down to the 47. Was that Avila there with the pressure, and there's a flag down as well.
Well, Avila laid out Klein right after the pass, but a good pass by Klein to find the receiver in a pretty tight window there.
This would be a 13-yard gain and another Mountain Mobile Autoglass first down. But both teams very interested as the flag is resting at the 45. It seemed like it was right around where Flake had received, or excuse me, Flores. Now we're waiting. Ball currently is at the 48. It looks like this is going to be against the Longhorns.
Failure to wear proper equipment. 32 did not have his mouthpiece in.
All right, so Flake didn't have his mouthpiece in and will instead only get a 9-yard gain out of that one, as the 5-yard penalty will move it back to the 44.
I think the Sholo coach is asking where the spot of the foul was relative to the penalty.
Looks like the explanation is that's at the end of the play. Well, we're going to continue to deliberate. Wait a minute. So the way that looks like the three options are from the line of scrimmage, from the spot, or from the end of the play. Thus far, they're going with option C.
Well, and Coach Maxwell is obviously not agreeing with that because they're talking exactly about that right now.
This is a big deal because it's a difference of 9 yards. Well, and if we go back to the line of scrimmage, this is going to be a difference of 14 yards. Right now, the Cougars having their hands full trying to slow Trevor Klein. He's 4 of 5 for 41 yards through the air and 74 yards on 11 carries. A lot of those coming with 39 yards gained deep in his own territory. Okay, so the conversations have been had, and it's going to stand as the ball lies at the Payson 44. And it's going to be, well, they're calling it 1st and 1. Klein from the gun as he gets the snap. Quick look left, goes back to Conway at the right. Steps away from the man at the 50. He's going down the far sideline to the 45. Gain of 9.
Well, again, just a quick route to Conway out on that sideline, but after the catch, Conway doing a good job of just finding open seams and dodging tacklers to get even more yards. And we'll put the Longhorns on the Sholo side of the field with that play.
Stripe started with a costly fumble from Colton Hager, who's in as quarterback for the Cougars, and now the Longhorns trying to take advantage as Alcorta goes with the drive, starting left, cutting up over the 45, and gains, well, 3 yards as he is dropped at the 43.
A good gang tackling by the Cougars. Baird, Beeler, Avila all in on that tackle. So a good group effort by the Sholo Cougar defense.
Payson leads 8-7, is again penetrated into Sholo territory. Less than 9 minutes to play in the half as Klein takes the high snap and again keeps it over the right side of the line, approaches the 40, and is stopped after a short gain, making it 3rd and say 5.
Pickup of about a yard.
Every now and then, the Longhorns will pull out something that looks like they're going for the big play, but as it is, they just look like they're content to nickel and dime their way down the field, and right now having all kinds of success doing it. Since that 3 and out on their first possession, there's been all sorts of offensive activities. Here they go to the right side. Conway again running through tacklers to get the Mountain Mobile Autoglass first down and eventually brought down by Hager, but all the way down to the Cougar 29-yard line.
And again, I don't know if we can see the replay on that. There it is. But after the reception, again, Conway, again, just a really quick route out to the flat to hit Conway. But then after the catch, just does an outstanding job of gaining additional yardage for the Longhorns.
5 catches, 59 yards now for Conway as the handoff this time to Alcorta. Stepping through tacklers as he weaves his way up the middle of the field, gets to the right sideline, has the first down, and dives inside the 10 to set up 1st and goal for the Longhorns. There's one of those big hitters.
Yeah, well, great footwork also by Alcorta, just showing some patience once he gets through the line of scrimmage, just dancing through and avoiding tacklers and finding that seam off onto the right side to get to the sideline or close to the sideline.
That Mountain Mobile Autoglass first down sets up 1st and goal at the 6. 7:45 to go here in the half, and already leading 8-7. Klein with the shotgun snap, moves to the left, puts his head down, forces his way inside the 5, and maybe down to the 3. That's now 79 yards for Trevor Klein on 13 carries. Plus 7 pass attempts. Already with 20 plays. I hope they got ice on the bus. 2nd and goal now. They're going to say he got to the 2. Put Conway in the backfield. He'll stand on the right of Klein. Alcorta is behind him. From the shotgun, handed off Conway, trying to sprint to the left and gets to the edge and into the end zone for the Payson touchdown. 3-yard score.
Well, that's just a play with blocking out on that edge where Conway just outruns the pursuit and is able to punch it into the end zone for Payson's 2nd touchdown of the night.
Well, there's a little bit of curiosity when we got here about how these guys beat Snowflake. I think we know. I mean, they got 2 big dudes that are they're ready to shoulder a lot of workload in both Klein and Conway. as they're going to again go for two, now leading 14-7. Klein keeps and is able to go diving up the middle and spinning into the end zone for the score to make it 16-7, converting after Colton Hager fumbled deep in Payson territory. The Cougars now trailing by 9 with 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Who sells the number one
All
truck
right,
in
you're clear for
America?
30.
Sholo Ford.
They're beat
That's
up,
right.
man.
Not only do they sell it, Sholo Ford is the best place to buy it. Why? Guy Hatch guarantees it. In fact, he guarantees you'll get the best deal on your next Ford car, van, or SUV as well. It doesn't matter what you buy. Sholo Ford has the best deal. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at SholoFord.com.
Who did they play?
All right, Cougars losing 16-7, and we're watching already playing without so many players in pads. Cal Fawcett bending at the waist after giving up that touchdown. He's been limping in the defensive backfield. He's only been out for one carry, and also looked like he was trying to shake some feeling into his right arm, as this one looks like it's again going to go out of bounds and will do so. So good field position again for the Cougars, but we've been very impressed in a lot of our post-game conversations with these Sholo kids, and they have a lot of character being displayed right now, playing with so many absences.
Illegal
and so many
procedure,
guys
ball
going
kicked
hard.
out of bounds
Well,
by the kicking
and-
team.
and
Ball
to the
replaced for
person,
35. First down.
All of their injuries are to some of their most key, well, they're very key players. You can go down the list, and every single one of them is, they're big producers, whether on offense or defense. So they're definitely battling tonight, are the Cougars.
Here comes Colton Hager. It looked like he was trying to squeeze some feeling into his left hand after he was hit hard and fumbled, but he's been 3 for 6 for 51 yards. Really opening up the playbook here with the sophomore as they try now with Beeler to dive up the middle. He's over the 45 and has a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down.
A nice quick hitter. Beeler finds that seam at the line of scrimmage. Great speed, just able to blow through the second level. Safeties for the Payson Longhorns, ultimately the ones having to make the tackle, so a great play there for the first down.
Payson still really crowding up along the line as Aguilar comes in motion. Fake the give. Hager wants to come to the near side. He's got a man caught over the 50 as Cantor has that one in Payson territory down to the 41.
Well, Cantor able to beat the coverage, get beyond the short corner coverage, and a good pass by Hager. Looked like that ball might have been tipped or something, but regardless, a good reception. And again, Sholo, another first down, so 2 successive first downs for the Cougars.
Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down after Kenton had a 13-yard grab. He's now been able to find 3 different receivers as Colton Hager as he goes under center, got men in each slot. Aguilar coming in motion left to right, handed off. No, pulls it back from Beeler. He's able to go over the 40 for a tough 2-yard gain.
Man, at the first collision at the line of scrimmage, I'm not sure who he ran into, but it was a wall. But credit him for keeping those feet moving and able to at least try to squeeze out a yard on that play.
Timeout taken on the field. 6 minutes and 4 seconds left in the half. 16-7. Payson leading, but the Cougars are in motion. Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
At Summit Healthcare, you'll find a level
All right, you're
of care
clear.
you
I
might
don't
not
have any more
expect
quarterbacks.
from a rural hospital. We've recently received 5 stars from CMS, a prestigious ranking that less than 5% of facilities in Arizona earned. Our cancer center has proven its level of advanced care with a national accreditation from the Commission on Cancer. And we continue to add more doctors and services so that you don't have to leave the mountain to find the care you need. At Summit Healthcare, we're elevating care here at home.
Leading rusher for the Cougars is Trent Beeler. He's got 22 yards on 6 carries. They faked the handoff to him on the option. He got popped. Hager kept it, and he got popped twice. They're facing now 2nd and 8 after the timeout as Beeler's going to be the single back. Cantor and Aguilar, and now the Longhorns jumping into the neutral zone. This should be 5 yards against the Payson defense.
Encroachment, defense, number 53. It's a 5-yard penalty.
Well,
Second down.
Obviously, something Coach Maxwell called on that timeout.
Credit Hager. You see on the replay, he dipped that head just a little bit as he hands off. Beeler goes over the right side, over the 30, down to the 25. Picks up 8 and a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down.
Well, a lot of room for Beeler to run on that play. Great job of finding space. And Sholo with their running game doing a great job here on this possession.
I think that Jaeger and the Sholo coaching staff's willingness to allow him to make some decisions with the hand as he again hands off Beeler, who gets slipped up at the 21. But that seems like it has done an awful lot to open up some lanes for Beeler to run through as one of the Cougars lost their helmet. And it looked like it might have been discarded by one of the Longhorns, perhaps with disgust.
Perhaps. Quarter flag for the Longhorns on that tackle. But again, as you mentioned, Beeler has room at the line of scrimmage. Nice hole. He's able to punch right through for another nice gain of about 5 yards. So good work up front by the Sholo line.
Well, it was Avila who lost his helmet, and of course almost all these guys going both ways, and I think that the time he spent in the backfield on the defensive side, he's now being forced to vacate after he lost his helmet. I think he might also be asking the question, how'd my hat come off, Coach? It seems like maybe a flag could have been involved, but now facing 2nd down and 6. Handed off to Cantor as that one took a little bit too long to develop, and Payson was able to get into the backfield themselves and slip him up after just a 1-yard gain.
Well, a good play by the outside linebacker, James Watson. He's right there on the contain with that little counter play, and he just lays the lumber on the running back. So outstanding defensive front play by the Longhorn defensive end on that play.
Avila's back out there on the right side of the line as Jaeger goes under center. Beeler, the single man in the backfield. As Aguilar comes in motion, fake the give to him, and now rolling Jaeger to the left. He's going to again throw into the back of the end zone where it's instead going to be picked off by one of the Longhorns.
Yeah, not
Trevor Klein. No, Christensen is back there and picking it off as the pass was intended for Whipple. Kevin Whipple.
Whipple was the lone receiver deep into the end zone at the back edge of the end zone, and Jaeger just not much room for him to get that ball to him. It was in double, triple coverage. So, and the defensive, who had the interception, Klein?
Trevor Klein.
Yep. So all he does is just backpedal as soon as Jaeger cuts loose with that pass, and he's able to pick it off in the end zone.
Well, we've been talking about Jaeger just being a sophomore, and he was zeroed in there on Whipple. And there's a second turnover in the red zone for the Cougars. This one with 4:54 to go and already leading 16-7. The Longhorns take over on their own 20. Klein having to step away from a tackler in the backfield, rolls to the right, is able to fight his way up to the 25. Something is in the backfield, but it looks orange.
I think they're going to be calling a number 32 for Payson. Porter Flake was blocking a defensive lineman. I think that's what the flag's about.
Holding, number 32 of the offense, 10-yard penalty, first down.
There it is. Look, whoever he blocked was just doing a great bull rush, and Flake obviously trying to keep him from his quarterback and just held him up in the backfield. So it'll put Payson back all the way to their 10.
1st and 20. As two receivers out wide left. One of them is Conway. Instead, they're going with Alcortez. He's trying to get away from a couple of tacklers in the backfield, but holding him up and allowing for the gang to join. As who was that
56.
initially? Coriel was the first man there.
Yeah, great play by Coriel. But as you say, not too far behind a bunch of other Cougars. Just great team defense on that play. Good pursuit angles. They shut down that
You've been there, waiting
edge.
forever at the gas station for the guy.
So a 2-yard loss. Now 2nd down and 22 from the Payson 8. The Longhorns shooting themselves in the foot after the second turnover in the red zone by the Cougars. Klein with the shotgun snap rolls to his right along the end zone and is able to get that one out to Conway, who juggles it at the 20, but eventually hauls it in for a 12-yard gain to set up 3rd and 10.
Well, great concentration by Conway to ultimately catch that pass. It hit him in the hands initially, but as you say, it bounced up for a while there. It looked like a Sholo Cougar might be able to take a shot at it, but Conway ultimately pulls it in for the reception.
So they're up to the original line of scrimmage with 3 minutes and 20 seconds to play in the half. Payton's going to get the ball first to start the second half. So trying to really set this up for a long time with the football as Klein takes a shotgun snap, drops back and nearly has that one picked off as he was zeroed in. And again, a little bit of extracurriculars as Fawcett was playing center field, but Aguilar was able to get in there and disrupt, and not too appreciative was Joseph Ortiz.
Well, Ortiz was open for just a short bit, and you can see Aguilar slide over with just a little bit more elevation, might have had a chance to try picking that off, but regardless, good defensive coverage on that pass play.
Conway was kicking it away deep in his own territory after the first possession. It looks like he is going to walk back to his 5-yard line. Can't see who is going to receive for the Cougars as this one was rushed, but he's able to get it away as Wolford watches this one bounce at the 50 and take a pretty good couple of hops there as dribbling was Troy Daniels, but eventually allows that one to fall down. And here, after the interception in the end zone, Sholo with a great opportunity here to get some more points on the board.
Well, that's a great defensive stand there by the Cougars. On previous possessions, we've seen Payson pretty methodically march down the field with their running game. And that give credit to the Cougars, just holding them up and being very resilient, really not allowing them much room at all on that last possession. So see what the offense can do here. They're down 7-16 here in the second.
Cantor and Aguilar come out wide right, single man on the left as Jaeger goes under center with Beeler behind him as the single back. Hand off, Beeler tries to come over the right side, gets over midfield, stood up, and eventually brought down as Christensen was there as well as Porter Flake, but a gain of 5.
Well, another good run by Beeler. We've seen him in these last couple of possessions doing a good job running the football for the Cougars.
Second down and 5 as this time Jaeger drops back looking to the right side where he's got a man caught over and spinning out of one tackler to get inside at the 35 and down to the 30 as that one is hauled in by Tanner Lusk. Deep down into the roster go the Cougars as Lusk. I think that's his first reception.
Well, soft coverage by the corner out on the outside, but also credit Lusk, breaking through that tackle. He easily gets an additional 10 yards after the catch, so good run by him.
17 yards and a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down to the 28-yard line. Jaeger under pressure as he's rolling to the right, throws it over the middle where it's brought down by Aguilar. Still on his feet, but he might have also put the ball in the deck. No, he did not, as Conway is there with the tackle and a gain of 7.
Got to tell you, Jaeger on these rollouts, we haven't seen him really necessarily drop back into a pocket, but when he's been rolling out, which is most of the time, he's doing a great job of finding receivers and hitting them with really accurate passes.
Minute and 40 seconds left, and with the clock moving, Sholo has to take a timeout as the Cougars are trailing 16-7, but their sophomore quarterback has them again flirting with the red zone. Minute and 40 to go in the second quarter. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on Night Talk 106.7 and NightTalk1067.com.
You've been there, waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so he can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware at their locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain Sports.
Sholo trailing 16-7 for Payson, but with the ball on the Longhorn 21-yard line. Colton Hager is in after 2 quarterbacks go down. He has now gone 6 of 10 for 88 yards and has connected with four different receivers. He's got one on either side of the line. Instead goes Beeler as he dives over the right side and is very close to another first down.
Get another quick hitter by Beeler. Credit this time the defensive play. Porter Flake sliding over as a linebacker. Had he not been there, Beeler would have had a lot of room to be able to get down the field. So just good open field tackle by Flake.
That is good for a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down. Now 2 receivers going out wide left on 1st and 10, trailing 16-7 with the clock running at minute 15. Again going over the middle and nearly picked off. There was a lot of traffic as Jaeger got hit as he's being helped up by Cyrus Krieger.
Again, not a very smart pass that time by Jaeger, not only throwing into traffic, but look to me, the receiver he was trying to hit threw it way behind him.
Well,
but throwing it right into defensive coverage.
As we're seeing the replay here, and Krieger coming in straight up the middle of that line. 3
Orthodontist
receivers set with 2 going to the left. Jaeger in pressure from the back as he's going to have to now get rid of it. He steps away from one tackler, gets to the far sideline and runs out of bounds, and a flag comes out late.
I think they're going to call block in the back against Sholo. With Jaeger rolling out to the left side, he had a couple of blockers trying to keep defenders getting to Hager, and looked like one might have been pushed from behind.
Block on the back, number 21 of the offense. 10-yard penalty, replay it down.
That moves it all the way back to the 34 from the spot of the foul. Good night, Irene. Minute and 7 seconds left, and it's going to be second down and 29. I don't know. I got to check my math. But they've spotted it all the way back at the 34. Second, I guess they're saying 25. But it does stop the clock as he got out of bounds. And now with Cantor coming in motion, fake the handoff to him. More pressure coming from the Longhorns as Hager rolls to the right, throws this one low, had Hager open in the flat. But that would have only had a fraction of the needed yardage.
Well, as you say, Aguilar's open in the middle of the field, just beyond the linebackers, in front of the safeties. Colton Hager had the right idea, just a little bit low on the pass. Aguilar just couldn't get to it. Otherwise, a nice effort to find the open receiver at least.
All four of Payson's down linemen were in the backfield. One of them, I believe, was Will Howell, who had his arms outstretched and was obscuring Hager's vision, if nothing else. So now 62 seconds left. Third down and 25. Fake the handoff as instead it's going to be brought down and fumbled and recovered by Payson, but Hager was taken down very violently.
Will Howell, number 57, 6'6", 220-pounder, grabs Hager, and it looks like a shop rag the way he threw him down.
I'm wondering if this is a horse collar.
Yeah, it could be.
He really bent at the waist. Oh, yeah, that's a horse collar.
Horse collar tackle, number 57. It'll be 15 yards to the recovered spot. First down.
From the recovered spot as Will Howell, guilty of the horse collar. It didn't look like he was necessarily trying to do anything malicious. It's just he reached out there and that was all he could grab. But that one moves the ball to the 29.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Correction, we have third down. Third down, that's not an automatic first down. Third down.
Personal foul is an automatic first down? Well, I found out last time I questioned officials openly, I was horribly wrong. So I'm just going to go ahead and go with it as it's third down again. And again, pressure from Hager as he starts rolling to the right. Leaves this one up where he's got Hager in the end zone. Caught for the touchdown. 33 yards from Hager to Hager. And Howell was in pursuit of Colton Hager just as he got rid of it.
Well, that's a great play, great touchdown by the Cougars with just 49 seconds left. That's big for them, being down in this football game, but that's a huge score going into the halftime, and just an outstanding pass deep in the corner. Puts enough air under it for the receiver to be able to get to it deep in the end zone.
16-13 as they're going for two, and the handoff is fake to Beeler, going over to the far sideline where it is good, and Hager was hit late, and he's not getting up. Avila's trying to force him to. A flag comes out as Colton Hager is trying to bravely trot off the field. He does get the two-point conversion to Cantor, but the whole left side of his body, and that was where he was grabbed on that horse collar tackle, seems as if it is, if nothing else, suffering inflammation.
Well, those watching replay
the try
will see
was
they
good.
hit here.
At the end of the play,
that's a late
dead ball,
hit
personal
for
foul,
sure,
number
in the
7.
back.
15-yard penalty on the kickoff.
A very late hit. So
Not against Yolo.
So Sholo will get 15 additional yards on the kickoff. And what a peculiar first half as Colton Hager comes in after Keegan Clark and Talon Lester are both down in injury. And Hager now seems to be flirting with an injury of his own, but he's up walking around trying to stay loose. It's chilly. So you get tossed about like he has. And again, let's talk about the character that these Cougars have been demonstrating as he's been taking a beating even on just rushing plays. The Longhorns have been letting him have it, and they're 2 personal fouls, but undaunted is able to get 8 points out of it, and again, just a sophomore.
Well, and Sholo as a team, of course, in tonight's football game, having to go to the next man in a lot of positions with a lot of their top players out injured tonight. So just a great team performance here in the first half by the Cougars.
So a bit of a surprise that it's a 16-15 ball game, and now ready for a Northland Pioneer College kickoff. When it's time to kick off your college education, choose the college with the lowest tuition in Arizona. As this one, well, no, it's going to be taken by Benitez as he gets grabbed at the 18-yard line and falls down to the 20. 45 seconds left, so there's still plenty of time. Payson has all of its timeouts.
Well, obviously the key here for Sholo is to try to avoid a big play with 45 seconds left.
Now, Yeager has been in the defensive backfield. He's back out there. Oh, what a guy. He spent every moment after that two-point conversion just trying to look like to stay loose. And he's going back out, and he's going to line up across from one of Payson's receivers. As Klein comes out, he's 7 of 9 for 80 yards, and he's rushed for 79 yards. As they fake the handoff, and now he's trying to follow a convoy over the left of the line where he gets stood up and brought down by Jake Yeager.
Zach Maxwell in on the tackle along with Yeager. That's one of the rare tackles we've seen from Maxwell tonight, and to his credit, I mean, he is limping big time in tonight's football game.
Colton Hager just came off the field, and I think that's for the best because he doesn't look like he's entirely well. Now Klein drops back, short drop, has it caught over the middle to Flake as he runs over the 30 and has a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down, and a quick timeout taken by the Longhorns with 11 seconds left.
So a pass into the middle of the field by Payson will cause them to call the timeout here. Payson will, with 11 seconds left.
Now it's interesting that occurs after Yeager has to come out. He's not in the huddle right now, but
we have a score here, interesting score. St. John's Thatcher football game in the second, or I'm sorry, at halftime. St. John's leading Thatcher 14-7.
14?
It's 14-7.
Oh, how about that?
That's a big football game.
So Yeager's still going to remain on the sideline. Joining him over there is Wolford. Banged up Sholo team, only trailing by 1. Flag stop this play early.
Dead ball, false start, number 10 of the offense. 5 yards.
After the timeout, most coaches would become furious if such a thing occurs. Yeager having gone for 121 yards in the air and 2 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion. As Klein, his counterpart, goes over to Conway, has that one spun down at the 37. Gain of, we'll give him 9.
Beeler in on the tackle for the Cougars. But again, obviously Klein's favorite receiver, not just for tonight, but through the whole season, Jesse Conway. You can see why he's a big, tall kid. Good hands, and he's dangerous after catching the ball as well, as we've seen him rack up the yardage after catching passes tonight.
Well, this is dangerous here for Sholo because we've caught a glimpse of Klein's arm. I don't think he has any trouble going 40 yards down the field. Right now, to try to get it into the end zone, he needs 63, which is probably asking an awful lot, but he's got that big target, and if the Cougars can't get any pressure and Conway is able to get this one and nobody brings him down, this could turn into helter-skelter pretty quick.
Well, Sholo will rush 3, or they have 3 defensive linemen here. We'll see if they go with any blitz.
Well, instead, they're just going to hand it off to Conway as he comes to the near side, steps away from one tackle at the 45, and eventually brought down. It will be a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down, but the buzzer sounds. And the Cougars, despite so many injuries, are going to go into the locker room trailing just 1. That's a victory in and of itself, is it not?
Big time.
So both teams with an awful lot to talk about. This is a huge game for Sholo. The most recent power rankings, 20. Which, if you had told me that after week 3, I would have said, well, that's got to be because of injuries. And sure enough, that's what's going on. But they're still knocking on the door of the playoffs, and beating a 6-1 team is going to go a long way getting in there. But they got to make up a point and play for 2 more quarters without suffering any further injuries. They're trailing 16-15, and we'll tell you more about it after this. It's halftime at Sholo. The Cougars are down. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on NightTalk 106.7 and NightTalk1067.com.
Who sells the
All right,
number
you
one
guys are
truck
clear.
in
How long you
America?
want?
Sholo Ford. That's right. Not only do they sell it, Sholo Ford is the best place to buy it. Why? Guy Hatch guarantees it. In fact, he guarantees you'll get the best deal on your next Ford car, van, or SUV as well. It doesn't matter what you buy. Sholo Ford has the best deal. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
At Summit Healthcare, you'll find a level of care you might not expect from a rural hospital. We've recently received 5 stars from CMS, a prestigious ranking that less than 5% of facilities in Arizona earned. Our cancer center has proven its level of advanced care with a national accreditation from the Commission on Cancer. And we continue to add more doctors and services so that you don't have to leave the mountain to find the care you need. At Summit Healthcare, we're elevating care here at home.
You've been there, waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so he can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there, and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware, their locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain Sports.
Orthodontist Dr. Joshua Beeler has been providing family-friendly orthodontics in Show Low and the entire White Mountains since 2006. If you need braces, stop in and see the friendly folks at Beeler Orthodontics and meet their professional staff. Dr. Beeler and his team have the latest in orthodontics technology, and they work with each patient individually to custom tailor the most effective treatment plan for the best results. Beeler Orthodontics is a proud sponsor of high school sports. Beeler Orthodontics, live to smile, love your smile.
When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSFAN.
I chose Northland Pioneer College because their prices are affordable. I've learned everything about the hair, skin, and nails. I've gained confidence in what I'm doing, so I'll be successful when I get out in the salon. This is an industry where I'll always have a job, and a job where I can express my creativity and make my own hours. I have transformed my life by coming to NPC.
Want to go fishing? Head to Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. They have fishing supplies, outdoor fishing attire, and fishing gear, plus all kinds of bait including live worms, flies, and lures. The staff are experienced anglers, and they can advise you on what you need, where to go, and what type of bait the fish are biting on. Plus, pick up your fishing, camping, and boat permits. When you think fishing, think Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. Located on Highway 260, 1 mile before the casino.
I got this. Don't take time out of your busy day. Let Mountain Mobile Auto Glass come to you. All our technicians are certified by the National Auto Glass Safety Council. Mountain Mobile Auto Glass will give you $50 cash, free movie passes, and free dinner.
536-5972. Mountain Mobile Auto Glass, cash back to you.
They both, I think, signed D1 scholarships. That was that triple overtime game.
16-15, a peculiar score here at halftime, as it's been a peculiar evening as the Show Low Cougars have to bring in the third-string quarterback, sophomore Colton Hager, and really, it seemingly kind of changed the offense on the fly, as this was a team that really wanted to rely on the backfield, but 3 leading rushers are hurt, so they're going to put the ball in the hands of the sophomore quarterback, who's going to go 7 of 13, 2 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion, 121 yards. Does have 2 turnovers, but even those punt occurred deep in Payson territory. It feels like the way this is playing out here, even with all the injuries, even with the lower classmen under center, that the Cougars almost have Payson right where they want them.
Well, I was telling you guys to break, I'm surprised how well they are doing. I mean, after seeing what their injury list was for their team coming into just to start the football game, I was kind of doubting how well they would do, but I mean they've next guy up, and they've stepped up big time. Colton Hager certainly among them. You had mentioned a couple of mistakes, just errors, sophomore errors we'll call them, throwing into tight coverage. The one interception, of course, in the end zone, but I mean at least credit the guy. He's really battling. The thing that's impressive with him too, I mean, the line is giving him time, especially on the rollout passes. But he's looking downfield. He's keeping his eyes downfield, and for the most part, doing a really good job of finding open receivers.
On the other side of it, Trevor Klein for the Longhorns is now 9 of 11 for 100 yards and has rushed 14 times for 79 yards, including a touchdown. Both of the touchdowns for the Longhorns have come on the ground, one of them a little bit more unconventionally with Jesse Conway, who is Klein's favorite target. He has 7 catches for 80 yards, including a 3-yard touchdown run. But we've talked about how Sholo has changed a little bit of the offensive strategy, the X's and O's, if you will. It also, if you're a Payson Longhorn fan, feels as if it's the Jimmies and Joes here that could eventually decide this one, because there's just not a physical answer for Sholo with all the injuries for Klein and Conway.
Yeah, Klein's a big kid, certainly athletic as well, but he's 6'2", 190. At least that's what they say on the roster, and he's certainly every bit of that. And then Conway is a tall kid also, 6'1", makes for a good receiver, especially against that Sholo defensive crew that isn't necessarily very tall. So and really on the passing game, Payson is just doing those quick passes. They really haven't tried to run anything really too deep. So just the combination of those two guys alone, Conway and Klein, and we knew that coming into the game because when you look at their stats, their team stats, those two by far standing out on the stat sheet. So no big surprises there, but you can certainly see why they go to them so often with their offense. Both of them very, very good athletes.
Yeah, I don't want to make this sound as if it's any kind of concession or anything along those lines, but this is a classroom, this football field. These are high school students.
Yep.
And it's just so impressive seeing all the character that is being demonstrated by these Sholo kids, as they have so many reasons at this point. They just haven't caught a break since week 4 when they lost Keegan Clark, but they're still up here fighting.
Yeah. Well, and even more surprisingly, they have guys on the field that are still hurt. And they're still just battling through it. Like just watching Zach Maxwell, number 9, who normally is a just outstanding player, one of their leaders all season long. But when you watch him move out there, and folks that are watching on the stream, you can definitely see that he is not at 100%. Cal Fawcett as well, another player. But just for them to be out there battling.
And even outside of the players who are out there hurt, nobody has been more victimized by Keegan Clark's absence than Jake Yeager. And he has only been targeted once. It was a 33-yard touchdown, but it doesn't seem as if he's allowing the lack of offensive production to do anything to damage his defensive intensity. And when he gets his opportunities, he's good for him with his brother playing quarterback.
Yep.
So that's just such an impressive group of young men, I'm going to say here for the Sholo fans.
Well, tip of the hat to Coach Maxwell, too. Obviously, with Yeager coming in, we've seen how his offensive has evolved just with the changes from Clark when they went to Talon Lester as the stand-in quarterback, next man up. You could see how that offense revolved a little bit more around the run, and their formations were much tighter, different. Now that Yeager's out there, they're spreading out their defense a little bit. They're recognizing his ability to roll out and pass and giving him plays to allow him to do that. So, that's some good coaching by Coach Maxwell to just recognize what the skill set is of his guys and adjusting accordingly.
It's 16-15 at halftime. Payson is leading the Cougars. We'll continue our conversation after this. Is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
I chose NPC because it offers good quality education. Ultimately, I want to be a nurse anesthetist, which is the start to that path. And instructors want you to succeed, which is really helpful. I've learned a lot so far in just one semester. It's been kind of crazy how much I've learned. Northland Pioneer College is transforming my life by helping me achieve my goals in my career.
Who sells the #1 truck in America? Sholo Ford. That's right. Not only do they sell it, Sholo Ford is the best place to buy it. Why? Guy Hatch guarantees it. In fact, he guarantees you'll get the best deal on your next Ford car, van, or SUV as well. It doesn't matter what you buy. Sholo Ford has the best deal. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
At Summit Healthcare, you'll find a level of care you might not expect from a rural hospital. We've recently received 5 stars from CMS, a prestigious ranking that less than 5% of facilities in Arizona earned. Our cancer center has proven its level of advanced care with a national accreditation from the Commission on Cancer. And we continue to add more doctors and services so that you don't have to leave the mountain to find the care you need. At Summit Healthcare, we're elevating care here at home.
You've been there, waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so he can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware at the locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain Sports.
Orthodontist Dr. Joshua Beeler has been providing family-friendly orthodontics in Show Low and the entire White Mountains since 2006. If you need braces, stop in and see the friendly folks at Beeler Orthodontics and meet their professional staff. Dr. Beeler and his team have the latest in orthodontics technology, and they work with each patient individually to custom tailor the most effective treatment plan for the best results. Beeler Orthodontics is a proud sponsor of high school sports. Beeler Orthodontics, live to smile, love your smile.
When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
I chose Northland Pioneer College because their prices were affordable. I've learned everything about the hair, skin, and nails. I've gained confidence in what I'm doing, so I'll be successful when I get out in the salon. This is an industry where I'll always have a job, and a job where I can express my creativity and make my own hours. I have transformed my life by coming to NPC.
Want to go fishing? Head to Honda Ski Outdoor Sport. They have fishing supplies, outdoor fishing attire, and fishing gear, plus all kinds of bait including live worms, flies, and lures. The staff are experienced anglers, and they can advise you on what you need, where to go, and what type of bait the fish are biting on. Plus, pick up your fishing, camping, and boat permits. When you think fishing, think Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. Located on Highway 260, 1 mile before the casino.
Okay.
16-15, Payson leading Sholo at halftime. It was the Cougars that were able to get on the board first after receiving the opening kick. Went 3 and out, but a big kick from Colton Hager pinned Payson inside the 5. Longhorns then went 3 and out, but a 20-yard kick set up Colton Hager for his first completion. It was a 24-yard strike into the end zone to give the Cougars a 7-0 lead. 14-yard line start for the Longhorns on the ensuing kickoff, but that didn't matter as Trevor Klein was able to go 39 yards to get some big field position switchery before eventually just chipping his way into the end zone to then convert a 2-pointer to make it 8-7. After Sholo was able to get into the red zone, Colton Hager was spun around and had the ball punched out for his first of 2 red zone turnovers, and Payson was able to capitalize on that one where it was eventually run in by Jesse Conway from 3 yards out. The 2-point conversion was good to make it 16-7 after another trip deep into Payson territory, this time ending with a turnover with an interception in the back of the end zone. Colton Hager got the ball back after his defense was able to rise up and take it away. A bad punt had them with a relatively short field starting on their own 48. A couple of personal fouls, one on a horse collar that was able to extend the play and allow Hager to eventually find Jake Hager in the end zone from 33 yards out, and then convert on a 2-point conversion, during which the second personal foul flag came out, which has, if nothing else, just forced Colton Hager to wear a couple of bruises into the locker room. Tried to come out and play some defense, and the Cougars, who are already playing without so many key players, cannot afford to lose Colton Hager. As you can see him, they're getting decked in the back by Ortiz. But we've been talking about it throughout halftime here, and the Cougars are hanging around and doing so in a way that I think few people would have expected.
Well, and obviously how you start the second half is important as well. You want to get off to a good start. So I believe they'll be kicking off, right, to Payson?
Yes.
So that first defensive effort for the Cougars is going to be big. That's an important series for them, and we'll see how they get going here shortly.
I would imagine that a lot of the conversation in the Payson locker room was probably just one surrounding their efforts to continue, as this is a great sign. I'm going to finish that thought in a moment, but there's Keegan Clark playing catch. Of course, he doesn't have any pads on or anything. He suffered a broken jaw a few weeks ago, but helping Colton Hager get loose. And that injury he suffered was so ugly that I think that if you had told us when it had happened that he would be playing catch on the field this soon thereafter, it's probably going to be again unlikely. But the Longhorns have size advantages up and down the line. They got them in the skill positions.
Yep.
You can see those advantages as they've been able to really force Hager to move around. As you can see, Keegan Clark wearing a mouthpiece as he's out there playing catch. But it doesn't look like it's wired shut anymore, which is, again, stepping in the right direction. It's just been such bad luck for the Cougars. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
How are they going to? They've seen the Cougars move the pocket to try to give Hager some more time. Is that really the only thing they can do? Is there's the front four for the Longhorns have just been harassing throughout?
I mean, they've got a, and they did it in the first half. They had good mix between their run and pass game. I thought Beeler, we saw him break off some good runs, especially in that second quarter. Not only him, but he certainly contributed to their overall offense. And they seem to establish a fairly, well-balanced offense between the run and pass. The thing that was most impressive to me, though, with that calling up that sophomore quarterback Colton Hager, I was just curious as to see how he would do and handle the pressure, and he did just fine. He's a good passer off the run, off the rollout, which is important because you had mentioned Payson's defensive front is giant compared to Sholo especially.
Interesting huddle over here on the sideline is Talon Lester, who's got a cast on his right hand, is having a conversation with two coaches, Cal Fawcett and Colton Hager. So two offensive players who are unavailable, but still trying to provide some extra eyes on the field. As Hager doesn't look like he's too banged up after the halftime, shake-off, we'll call it. As Conway is going to go deep and get ready to receive McCrill's kick. He is standing on the far sideline, or the near sideline, beg your pardon, and this one's going to angle away from toward the center of the field, but he's running up and catching that one at the 10 with momentum. Now he's already at the 15, trying to find some space as he steps around a man at the 30, and then eventually is brought down by Aguilar and Wolford.
Well, a good little move by Conway to have the first miss, but Wolford, credit him, good open field tackle to bring Conway down. So Payson will start its first possession of the second half at their 30. And again, we'll see how this Sholo defense does. They finished off that second quarter in good form defensively, so this is going to be a big series for them here.
Klein's going to use the shotgun receivers on either side. Hand off to Alcorta, who's going to try to find some space, but it's bottled up. And I think that's Avila who is occupying the gap.
Well, really the entire front for Sholo, and we've seen that from them quite a few times tonight. You got to credit that defensive front, just doing a great job of sealing up seams up front, filling gaps, and really no room for the Payson runner to run through on that play.
Got Flores on the right of the line, Conway left. Klein from the gun, takes the snap, design keep as he goes over the left, runs through one tackler at the 35, and then is brought down at the 39, a yard short of the first down, but it's going to be a very manageable 3rd and 1.
Looked like Avila on that initial hit, but Klein's able to run through it. So a good recovery by him, and Avila now comes up limping for the Cougars. Another key player for them. He'll stay out on the field.
3rd down and 1, and I would imagine that this has got Klein written all over it. Got Conway split wide to the right, and Klein going to keep as he goes right up the middle. He's already into the open field over midfield at 50, and eventually brought down at the Sholo 45 by Fawcett.
Klein again with that great quickness just blows through the line of scrimmage and gets through the linebackers quickly as well. Zach Maxwell out of position, not able to get back. Again, you could see him hobbling. But I'll tell you, without Fawcett making that shoestring tackle, Klein would have been able to hit the end zone. So a good tackle by Fawcett.
On that Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down, he's now over the century mark. And again, going to go with the keeper as he tries to go up the center, but forced to bounce it out to the left. And will pick up 3 or 4 yards as he's brought down at the 39.
In the running game for Payson, really nothing too fancy. Klein typically will take that snap from the shotgun and just wait for a little crease to develop, and he'll run up through the middle of the field. We've seen them try to attack the outside edge a little bit, but for the most part, they've just been running that really basic quarterback running play.
Conway's in the slot just off the right of the line as there's a running back on either side of Klein facing 2nd down and 5. Handed off to Christensen as he goes from the right to the left and penetrates all the way down to the 36, but is stopped short of the first down.
Well, that time Payson will go to the outside with Christensen. Good pursuit angles by the defenders to hold him short of the first down, a couple yards short.
Third down, looks like a long one, as it's inside the 36, and they need to get it down inside the 34. Klein gets the shotgun snap and again accelerates to the left of the line and maybe a little bit short.
That's a big tackle. 54 is in on the bottom there, Jack Baird, but other players as well. And again, that's that defensive front for the Cougars with the mark where they mark the ball. It is really short. That's fourth down, but it's fourth in inches.
Well, Baird gets credit for the tackle, but I think that it was Ridge Lee who was the immovable object, now trying to go with the quarterback sneaker as he is initially stopped, but he's going to roll to his left and then get into the open field before he is brought down by Fawcett all the way inside the 15, picks up 30 yards when it looked like he was initially stopped and instead gets a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down.
And again, a touchdown saving tackle by Fawcett, but great run by Klein. Initially, he did hit a wall right at that line of scrimmage, but just kept those feet moving and found a little seam to blow through.
I couldn't see if he had actually spun away, as if he was trying to.
It looked like he just kind of moved down the line of scrimmage until he found a little crease.
So not nearly as dramatic as I had hoped. But they're now in the red zone. 1st and 10 from the 12. This drive is now 4 minutes old as they throw a quick hitter back out to the far sideline to Flake. Looks like he steps away from one man, and now a late flag comes out as I think that there might have been a late hit by one of the Cougars. Flores is the receiver, and then one of the Cougars comes up a little bit lame, as that's Bryson Ryan, who's having a hard time walking on that right
Face
leg.
mask, defense, 5-yard penalty. Half the distance to go, half the distance.
All right, so they'll put half the distance on after that to make it
go, half the distance, okay.
2nd down and 1. Maybe that wasn't Ryan that I saw. Maybe it was Maxwell. But he's having a hard time walking around in the backfield. So here's this high snap brought down by Alcorta. Tries to stutter step his way to the left of the line and will be stopped short of the first down. Does pick up 1 yard, but it's now a big 3rd down and 1.
Jack Baird on the tackle for Sholo.
This drive now has been ongoing for 4 minutes and 45 seconds, and I would wager, having taken the opening kickoff inside the 5, that this is going to be 4-down territory. Klein doesn't want it to get to that, though, as he takes a snap and instead attacks to the left and gets into the end zone for the score. Touchdown, Payson, from 1 yard out.
And again, just that quarterback keeper where he has blockers out in front, just finds that little gap, little seam, not much there, but he's able to blow through it to get into the end zone.
The Longhorns have not flirted with an extra point as the offense remains out there. Now they lead 22-15. McCrill, a good weapon for Sholo, so this is a big play here, as if they cannot convert, the Cougars could tie it up with a conventional score, but flags come out, and this looks like it's going to be a procedure penalty.
Dead ball, false start, number 57, 5 yards. Retry.
So does that change matters for Payson?
I don't know that they necessarily have a kicking game, so.
Well, we've seen Benitez struggle on the kickoff.
So instead of running, maybe they'll go to a pass here.
Conway split wide left, 2 receivers to the right. And now Conway moving from the left to the right. Fake the handoff as they're trying to get it to Conway. A tough pass as he's got to catch that one over his head. And a tough delivery from Klein as he was being contacted as he was releasing. 2-point conversion is good, and some nifty plays from those 2 biggins from Payson. 24-15. Payson leads with 7 minutes and 7 seconds. Take almost 5 minutes off the clock in that touchdown scoring drive. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
All right, you're clear for 30.
I chose Northland Pioneer College because their prices were affordable.
Yep.
I've learned everything about the hair,
Klein
skin, and
went down.
nails.
He got hit.
I've gained confidence in what I'm doing, so I'll be successful when I get out.
Well, he had to
15 seconds.
Pass.
This is an industry where I'll always have a job where I can express my creativity and make my own hours.
All right, 5 seconds. Here's your
I
job, guys.
transformed my life by coming to NPC.
Well, how about this Fawcett back to receive? No, that's Beeler. This one bounces in the 20 and dies. Aguilar's going to pick it up. Now he's got a little bit of space as he gets brought down at the 30 by the face mask, and there's no flag.
Looked like for a second there, Aguilar had a little gap to run through. If he would have exploded through it, there was not many defenders in front of him, but ultimately Payson will bring him down on the kickoff. So Sholo will start their first possession here in the second half, starting at their 32.
Colton Hager, the sophomore, 7 of 13 for 121 yards and 2 touchdowns, but 2 costly turnovers as well, as the Cougars got good field position starting on their own 31. Got 3 receivers set up at the line with a single back and Beeler who gets the call. No, pulling it back. Yeager is going to run around the right side and tripped up at the 35. Flake there with the stop.
Yeah, Porter Flake with a good chase. He's chasing Colton Hager and just catches him by the foot at the very end there. Otherwise, Yeager would have been able to get into the second level. So a good tackle by Flake to keep him corralled for a shorter gain.
Well, just 3 yards, and it looked like it was, if nothing else, going to move the chains. Instead, 2 receivers come out wide left, single man on the right side with Beeler. The single back short drop from Yeager going to the far sideline, has his man caught over the 45 and out of bounds at the 50 is Lusk.
Well, a good pass, good quick pass to find the receiver. And those Sholo wideouts are finding soft coverage. To me, it looks really soft coverage out on the edges there. Sholo exploiting that.
Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down, moves the ball to midfield. 24-15 Payson leads as the handoff goes to Beeler, who juggles it, and they both fall down with joint possession, and Beeler somehow maintaining. Oh, no, it was the Longhorns.
It came loose at the line of scrimmage. You could see Beeler trying to grab for it, and it looked like number 33. Well, we have a replay here, but it looked like Beeler was losing control of it right at the line of scrimmage there. And the defender, number 33, Nick Dimbat, it ends up right in his arms. So
Yeager is waiting to the last possible moment on these options, and I think that time he just held on to it for an eyelash too long. So the third turnover for the Cougars is going to put it back into Klein's hands as he keeps this one over the 50, brought down by Avila, who gets it down to the 49, but a pickup of 6, and this might be the obituary here for the Cougars. Is just too many giveaways. With all these absences, it's
big
easy to understand, but
for sure.
Well, how do you recover?
And defensively, they're in a position here where we've seen Payson score with their first possession in the second half, burning a lot of time off that clock. Sholo's really got to find a way to shut down the running game here.
High snap brought down and given to Alcorta. There's all sorts of pressure being applied as he's got to run and retreat, but now he's able to turn it upfield, going to the far sideline, and eventually out of bounds at the 40. Picks up 7 yards and has a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down.
Fawcett and Jacob Webb, ultimately able to get out there to push the runner out of bounds, but not until Payson's able to get the first down.
Well, it looked like they had him. There were 4 players pursuing him in the backfield, but he just kept on going laterally until finally he was able to find the crease and walk the tightrope up the sideline to pick up the first down. Now 5 minutes and 18 seconds left, leading 24-15 and at the Sholo 40, with Klein moving our quarter to his left. 4 receivers set, as it's instead going to be out there offering blockers for Klein, who tries to squeeze through a little bit of an opening in the left of the line and get down to the 38 for a 2-yard pickup. A little bit of a contrast in styles here for Payson and Sholo, as the Longhorns can afford to go 2 or 3 yards on a play because they generally have a couple of bombs where they're going to be able to pick up 10 at a moment's notice. And the Cougars don't have that with any consistency. So it's easy to look at that first down play and say, hey, well, they're holding them behind the 6 a little bit, but it's not necessarily so, as here they're going to go with one of those options, as they're going to throw it out to Flores, who gets spun down at the 35, but a great tackle in the open field by Beeler.
And again, just a quick hitter out to the sideline, to the wide out. We've seen that play quite a bit tonight. As far as the passing game is concerned for Payson. It's good for an easy couple 3 yards.
It's the first attempt here in the second half. Now 4 minutes to play. and facing 3rd down and 5. Conway comes out on the right side, and Klein's rolling in this direction. Now throwing it over where it's going to be had by Ortiz inside the 20. Met as soon as he brought it in. But it's going to be good for a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down after a 12-yard pickup.
Well, it's a good pass to the receiver and a good catch by Ortiz because he is hit, as you mentioned, right after receiving that ball. For him to hang on to it, good job by him. You can see him get hit right in the back there. Good tackle by Fawcett to bring him down.
24-15 and back into the red zone go the Longhorns. 3 minutes and 35 seconds to play in the third. Keeper this time going to the right side as Klein gets through the initial wave of tacklers and forces his way inside the 10. Picks up 6.
Klein, again, we keep mentioning his size. You can see the advantage here where he gets into quite a few defenders, but he's just, as long as he keeps those feet moving, he's able to continue to forge ahead for yardage.
2nd down and 4 at the 10. Running backs on either side of him from the shotgun. Receivers in both slots as the handoff is fumbled and balled upon by the Cougars.
Big turnover there for the Cougars. The bad exchange in the backfield you can see between the quarterback and the running back.
Jack Baird there with the fumble recovery as they were trying to get that counter going with Christensen. I think that was, again, a quarterback holding onto the option just a little bit too long.
Well, and they bumped into each other, too. Their spacing and timing, obviously not what they wanted it to be. But regardless, Sholo taking full advantage of the fumble. We'll see what they can do here.
Well, there's the first giveaway by the Longhorns, and it comes with 2 minutes and 51 seconds to play in the third. Here comes that counter from Sholo as it was Aguilar who gets spilled at the 20 by Flores. But not before he picks up 7. That's a little bit more of the customary Sholo offense that we're used to seeing.
A good little run by Aguilar and a good open field tackle to keep him from breaking off even more yardage.
Beeler the single back. Aguilar and Cantor in either slot. As this time going with Beeler. Steps away from a man in the backfield. No, that's Nick White. Picks up 2.
White also a sophomore, but a good size sophomore, 5'9", 230.
Oh, they're going to call that one a first down. A generous spot. Moves it and makes it a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down as Beeler is back out into the backfield with the ball on the 25. Dropping back as Jaeger forced to move the pocket to the right. Pressured as he is nearly brought down, but he's going to stay on his feet and throw this one toward the 30 where it's going to be hauled in by Wolford.
Well, there's 2 receivers for Sholo in the same exact area, but doesn't really matter. Wolford ends up coming down with the pass. And Jaeger, under duress, he's still able to get that off. You got to give him credit there because he was in the grasp of a defender.
Well, it was Will Howell who had the horse collar, and he nearly got underneath his shoulder pads again. I think the Jaeger's going to have Will Howell nightmares. As here they go now, 2nd and 5 from the 30. White's in the backfield behind Jaeger as they want to give it to him, but I think that was blown up by at least one Payson Longhorn. The first man there was Connor Faust.
Well, Howell as well down in the bottom of that pile, but as you'd mentioned, Payson just completely blowing up the line of scrimmage on that play.
Less than a minute to go here in the third quarter. This one has been rolling as if somebody's chasing it. I don't know how many times the clock has stopped, but I think there's just been one incomplete pass and then the time after the score. So this has been hustling. 24-15, Payson leading, and now 3rd down and 7 for the Cougars. As I think this one was given to Beeler, but it was snuffed out by the Longhorns. He's stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain. Makes it 4th down.
Again, really not much room at all for Beeler on that dive play. But Payson defenders up front doing a good job.
Going back to receive the kick here on 4th down is Jesse Conway. Jaeger has only had to punt once, and it was a 55-yarder. Trying to allow some time to end, and in fact the third quarter will. So Sholo will be punting it away, trailing 24-15 to start the 4th quarter. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Who sells the number one truck in America? Sholo Ford. That's right. Not only do they sell it, Sholo Ford is the best place to buy it. Why? Guy Hatch guarantees it. In fact, he guarantees you'll get the best deal on your next Ford car, van, or SUV as well. It doesn't matter what you buy. Sholo Ford has the best deal. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
24-15, Payson leading here in the fourth quarter. Derek Palmer with punt Cooley, and I know it's deep in their own territory. It's 4th and 7. They've had a hard time getting this Payson offense off the field. Is this an opportunity you might try for a little bit of a fake?
Well, that would be a pretty bold play by them being on their end of the field. Where are they at, the 28?
28.
But we are headed into the fourth.
So the guy, Wolford, over here on the near sideline is one of the gunners.
It's, 7 yards about
Jaeger
to get to
is
the first.
the quarterback, and he's punting all the way as he sends this one high, hanging up at the 35 and into Payson territory as it rolls down to the 32. So really good kick. They've used their quarterbacks as their primary punters, but out of all these injuries, I think they've absolutely nothing else. They've found a great weapon on special teams with Colton Hager.
Well, defensively, Sholo, of course, on that last possession with a big break, getting that fumble recovery. But they're going to have to, now that we're heading into this fourth quarter and Payson really relying pretty heavily on their run game, they're going to have to find a way to try to force over on downs here.
Well, Payson's touchdown to start the second half lasted 5 minutes, and if they do something like that right now, that's probably going to put this in the ice box as Conway comes in motion, gets the handoff as he's trying to come from the right to the left, and is instead spun down by 2 Sholo tacklers, including Kevin Whipple and Cooper Irvin.
Yeah, great play by Cooper that time, penetrating through, sliding through to get to Conway before he could turn upfield. Really just limiting that play to a yard or 2 gain.
Moves this one out to the 34. 2nd down and 8 with the clock running. As the high snap is brought down, Alcorta's going to get the call. Runs away from 1 tackler in the backfield, but not the next 3. He's able to get his forward progress back to the line of scrimmage, but here's a huge 3rd and long.
Yeah, that's good defensive coverage there. Team defense by the Cougars. The early hit wasn't able to bring down the runner, but to follow it up, just good team effort to actually hold. I think they lost a yard maybe on that play.
2 receivers on either side. Klein from the shotgun looking to his right, hands it off to Conway, who is not going to be able to separate himself from the tackler in the open field, which is Beeler.
And again, Conway, we've seen him after the catch make some good gains, but that time Beeler, just outstanding work, making sure to bring him down after he makes that catch. So it'll make Payson here drop into what looks to be their punt formation, 4th down.
Back to receive the kick is Wolford. 4th down and 5. Conway had been doing the punting. I don't think he's back.
Looks like yep.
Oh, is it?
It's hard to see the number from here, but I believe it is. Low snap,
but he's able to get that one away. As this one is fair caught. No, it's not, but did he touch it? He's going to have to run underneath it as he's pumping it around, and Wolford eventually is able to get underneath that one. Oh boy.
Man, dodge a bullet there.
And now he comes up limping.
He is, give him credit for being persistent and just staying with that ball, but yeah, he was trying to get it before those 2 other Payson defenders were able to get on the loose ball. So big break for Sholo to keep possession here. We'll see what they can do. They've got it. They're in a position here where they need to put points up on the board.
Wolford comes out favoring his left leg, at least in the initial part of the ball game. That was Jaeger's favorite target. So they come out now with a receiver on either side, and instead going to try to start the counter with Aguilar, who's going to be able to go from the right to the left and over the 25 and down to the 27, pick up 7.
So Sholo gives to the motion back with the lineman pulling out in front enough to find a nice seam for the runner.
Taking a look now at Wolford, who's getting worked on. It looked like they were working on his right hand. Is this time going with Nick White over the 30 and falling forward for a 3-yard gain and a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down.
Good for a show first down.
So I'm sorry, again, a key possession here for the Cougars. Here in the fourth quarter with just under 9 left, they're in a position here where they really need to think about putting points up.
White, the lone back again. No, that's Beeler. They faked the handoff to him. Jaeger wanted to go downfield. He's got some space, but it's going to be instead intercepted again by Klein.
He had the receiver, too, number 21, Kevin Whipple, had the coverage beat deep, but just not enough arm from Jaeger to get it over those defenders. Had he been able to throw just a little bit deeper, Whipple had the coverage beat.
So now Sholo's defense goes out there. Wolford still on the sideline. And here come the Payson Longhorns now with just 8 minutes and 45 seconds separating them from another victory as Klein fakes the handoff, drops back, looking over the middle where it's going to be intercepted, nearly intercepted. McCrill had that in and out of his hands.
Well, Conway reached up for it, and I'm wondering if lost sight of the ball because of Conway reaching, but regardless, that hit him right in the, looked like to hit him right in the chest. Yeah, he was right there. Actually hit him in the hands.
I think that he might be out there in place of Wolford. I don't see Jaeger out right now either. So they're really having to get creative while filling all of the positions. Is now Klein with his high snap, going to run over the left side of the line, over the 45, and down at the 47, picks up 4, but sets up 3rd and long. Now 159 yards on 24 carries for Trevor Klein. He's also 12 of 15 for 117 yards through the air.
Combination of Avila and Whipple in on the tackle for Sholo on that running play. But again, as long as Payson keeps running the football, the clock ticks.
Getting close to 8 minutes right now, facing 3rd down and 6. Conway on the short side of the field on the left sideline. Lone man on the far side is Flores, where they're looking to the left, and now as the pocket collapses, Klein's going to run through it, fumbles the football as he is tackled in Sholo territory. The Cougars think they got it.
They are going to say
it. And they do.
Yeah, big hit. That was a design play. You could see Klein just kind of sit and bounce on his toes here, and then he goes once he sees that seam, but someone came over with a nice hit. Could have been Beeler stripping him there. And then, but that's a big turnover there for the Cougars to be able to get the ball back after throwing an interception earlier.
As the Cougars are getting lined up, we're showing it one more time on the stream. As it's handed off to Beeler, he struggles his way to midfield and picks up 8. But even more than the Payson Longhorns right now, the Cougars' enemy is the clock. With 7 minutes and 35 seconds to go, now facing 2nd and 7. If they're going to be able to get this done, they're going to have to get some points here quickly. They could set it up for McCrill to get the winner, but they're going to have to do it. They're going to need 2 possessions.
Yep.
Beeler now with 50 yards. As here's Bryson Ryan, who's going to step away from one man to get in deeper to Payson territory and pick up a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down after he is able to go for 10 yards.
Nice piece of running by Ryan. You can see him cut through one tackle just beyond the line of scrimmage and just leads forward, keeps those feet moving, and breaks off a nice run for the first down.
Beeler the single back. As Aguilar comes in motion, they're going to give him the call as he is able to get over the 40, 35, 30, still on his feet. He's at the 25, stumbling down to the 20. And another Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down.
Does a great job following the block of Jack Barrett, who's out front, pulling in front. That's one of the better runs for Sholo tonight in tonight's football game.
They've had success with that counter here in the second half. They're just outside the red zone, trailing 24-15 with 6:47 to go. Nick White now going from the right to the left. He rumbles over the 15 and is brought down at the 13-yard line. Picks up 8 yards and is close to another first down. Clock continuing to move, though. 6:27 to go. Late entry off of the Payson sideline. As the handoff this time goes Beeler. He's at the 10-yard line and has another Mountain Mobile Autoglass first down as it's going to be first and goal for the Cougars.
Well, good run for the first down. Christensen for Payson sliding over to the inside to make the tackle. But, again, a really, really important possession here for the Cougars. They've got to get on the board.
6 minutes and 9 seconds left, trailing 24-15. And first and goal. Right at the 10. White is the single back. Man in motion is Ryan. He gets the call, but this time met in the backfield. It's Will Howell again.
Yeah, big play by Howell. Just shut down that edge. And really also number 53, Soto Sella sliding down the line of scrimmage. The combo of those two big players just completely shut down the outside and not giving Ryan any room. They end up actually losing yardage on that play.
Second and goal as they fake the handoff. Now rolling to the left. Jaeger wants to go into the end zone, but this time Payson has it snuffed out. Jaeger's going to have to tuck it away as he gets inside the 10 and fights his way down to the 5. Credit Payson's defense there for really reading that book, but credit Jaeger for making something positive out of it.
Well, and also blocking kind of the moving pocket, but you can see those offensive linemen just slide out there with them and protect the flow from getting to Jaeger. He had plenty of time, just couldn't find any open receivers. Had to tuck it and run.
As long as we're dealing credit the line for not getting far downfield.
Yeah, that too.
All right, third down and goal from the 4. Less than 5 minutes to go. Time is a huge factor. Man in motion is Ryan. Instead, they're going to go with Beeler, who tries to go down the right side but has stood up. That was Nick White.
Nick White is one of those big, stout backs, but just not much room up front. That defensive front for Payson doing a good job of sealing off gaps.
Well, they're fourth and goal, and they need a field goal, but the unit is not out. So Beeler comes out and will be the single back. 3 receivers coming to the right side as Jaeger, pressured as he rolls to the right, throws it into the flat and dropped. It's dropped by Aguilar.
Aguilar wide open out in the flat. He wasn't quite to the end zone, but that ball hit him right in the hands. So down, you can see he had room after the catch to potentially be able to get to the end zone as well, but they'll turn it over on downs. Big play, big play for the Cougars there.
Would you have kicked that?
Huh?
Would you have kicked the field goal?
Yeah, probably.
Just making sure I'm not
9-point game, right?
Yeah. I mean, the gamble almost worked. That was a touchdown had it been hauled in. As now here's Klein accelerating up the center of the field and getting down to outside the 10, I should say. Picks up 7.
Cal Fawcett came up to make that last hit on Klein after I think Fawcett got the worst end of that contact or that collision.
Sholo doesn't need to start using its timeouts now, but one first down now may I have to do so. Facing a 2nd and 2, handoff Alcorta, who's going to be hemmed in the backfield, is able to fight his way out, maybe picks up a yard, but it's 3rd and 1 with 3.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, good job overall by the Cougars. Again, good swarming defense. Once they get to the ball, several of them show up to be able to hold the runner from making any big gains, but it will be 3rd and short, probably less than a yard.
Payson taking his time, working away to the line of scrimmage with 3 minutes and 7 seconds to go, leading 24-15. I formation. Nope. Single back as Klein's going to keep it as he's brought down almost immediately, but he only needed about a foot. Scoriel got to him, but there was just so little yardage needed that it didn't matter. So Mountain Mobile Autoglass first down moves the chains, and now at this point, I think Sholo has to start using those timeouts.
Yeah. Well, we're under 3 minutes. Payson, of course, will stick with the running game here to burn the clock down.
Just getting the line a little bit quicker than you would expect. That time only 20 seconds come off the clock as Alcorta is going to get to the line of scrimmage, but little further as Sholo quickly burns a timeout with 2 minutes and 34 seconds left. We'll take it with him. 24-15, Payson in command. This is Sholo Ford Station of High School Football on Night Talk 106.7 and NightTalk1067.com.
Who sells the #1 truck in America? Sholo Ford. That's right. Not only do they sell it, Sholo Ford is the best place to buy it. Why? Guy Hat guarantees it. In fact, he guarantees you'll get the best deal on your next Ford car, van, or SUV as well. It doesn't matter what you buy. Sholo Ford has the best deal. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
Yeah, Winslow's playing a lot better.
24-15, Payson leading. Cougars call timeout after short first down game. They had gone for it on 4th and goal while trailing 9. And hopeful to get the ball back maybe with a little bit more than 2 minutes to go, but still trailing 2 possessions. As Klein is going to use the shotgun. He's got Conway on the near side, now going in motion to the right. And fake the handoff to him. Instead, Klein keeps, gets over the 20, down to the 25. And as he's tackled forward, a quick timeout is called, but I think that they picked up the Mountain Mobile Auto Glass first down. Oh, they did not. Or did they? Yes, they did. The Longhorns.
Good blocking out front by the Payson Longhorns. They pull a couple of linemen, and Klein just really nothing too fancy. He just follows in behind and finds enough room to get that first down.
So now that the Longhorns have moved the chains and Sholo only has the 1 timeout, I think that that's probably going to do it. Now,
absent any turnover.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Turnover.
But at this point, do you ever allow the ball out of Klein's hands just to make sure that you don't turn it over?
Probably not. Well, obviously, I think they've been relying pretty heavily on the run game in general anyway. Payson obviously likes their running game, and that I think they'll just stick with it here and keep Klein being pretty much the predominant runner to avoid any exchanges.
Got 3 receivers bunched up on the right of the line as Klein takes the snap, hands it off to Alcorta. He is forced to run away from Trent Beeler, but he's going to bring him down. And a quick timeout taken by the Cougar sideline, but that's the last one. So they get the negative yardage that they had needed.
I think if it's just the shirt.
Conversation about whether or not Beeler was guilty of a horse collar, but I think that he just was high up the shirt. He didn't ever go into the pads.
But a great tackle by Beeler nevertheless.
So the Cougars cannot stop the clock anymore. 2 minutes and 21 seconds left. How long's the clock? Is it 40 seconds?
I don't know.
Might just be 25. I think it's 25. Let's say it's 25. That means in these next 3 plays, they could potentially take it down to about a minute, which would probably do it. There's 3 men in the backfield surrounding Klein, who is in the shotgun, takes the snap, hands off Conway, steps away from the first tackler, but is instead going to be mixed up with White. Was that Nick White? No, it was Cooper Irvin.
Irvin, great tackle on the outside there. Comes up quickly to close down on Conway. You can see it here. Wraps him up, just drags him down. Nice hit.
But it did take a while. That play in and of itself took about 7 seconds. So now a minute and 45 seconds left as Payson is coming to the line. Keeping an eye on the back judge. I don't think they're going to wait for him to start counting. Well, maybe they will this time, as it looks as if Klein is just going to survey and now ask for the ball. He's going to keep it as he comes to the left of the line. Brought down by Coryell. And now, with a minute and 20 seconds left, the ball is set. So Sholo will get the ball back, but just with nowhere near enough time.
Coryell on the tackle there. We've called his number quite a bit, the senior, 5'10", 165-pounder playing that defensive front. He's done a really solid job for the Cougars all night tonight defensively.
52 seconds left. Jesse Conway ready to punt. Looks like everybody is crowding the line for the Cougars, and I think the Longhorns are probably going to take a delay of game, as Conway has now walked up in the midst of his blockers, and, well, correction, they will take a timeout. So they take it down to 34 seconds left. That's just good game management over there by the Payson sideline.
You've been there, waiting forever at the gas
Leading
station for the guy to
24-15. And now, having knocked off Snowflake in a one-point affair, coming in and playing this banged-up Sholo team, but 24-15 winners, going back to the old traditional 3A East. Just imagine what the storyline would be if this was 2005.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Payson, a big team size-wise. I mean, their line is impressive. And, of course, we talked about their two athletes, Klein and Conway, also good-sized kids. You can see, why they've generated a lot of their production for most of the season.
Conway has the snap. The rush is on. He gets a kick away. It might have been blocked a bit.
Yep.
As this one is going to be down at the 31, but the Cougars will have just 28 seconds.
Yeah, that kick looked like it might have been tipped, as you mentioned. Good rush by the Cougars to get in there.
So Colton Hager coming out. He's completed 8 of 16 for 126 yards. And I know nobody wants to talk about moral victories, especially when the playoffs are still within the picture. But they got to feel good about the way the sophomore has performed here. As he fakes the handoff, short drop, under pressure and brought down at the 40.
Yeah, that's good pass rush. And really that's, he's looking for a receiver to go deeper was Hager, and with that delay, it allows the pass rush to get in and close in on him.
8 seconds left. Sholo's already at the line. Hager again dropping back, again rushed as he's going to move the pocket out to the right side, throw this one underneath where it's head by Wolford, stepping away as the buzzer sounds. He's at the 20 and now wrapped up at the 20-yard line by Conway, and that's how it's going to end. 24-15, Payson has knocked off Snowflake and Sholo in consecutive weeks. We will begin our conversation right after this in Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
All right, you're clear. How long you want?
Let me ask.
Okay.
Who sells the #1 truck in America? Sholo Ford. That's right. Not only do they sell it, Sholo Ford is the best place to buy it. Why? Guy Hatch guarantees it. In fact, he guarantees you'll get the best deal on your next Ford car, van, or SUV as well. It doesn't matter what you buy. Sholo Ford has the best deal. Sholo Ford on the east of the Deuce and at showford.com.
2 minutes.
So, yeah, I haven't been
At
keeping
Summit
track.
Healthcare, you'll find a level of care you might not
We got a minute and 20 seconds.
How about that?
We've recently received 5 stars from CMS, a prestigious ranking that less than 5% of facilities in Arizona earned. Our cancer center has proven its level of advanced care with a national accreditation from the Commission on Cancer. And we continue to add more doctors and services so that you don't have to leave the mountain to find the care you need. At Summit Healthcare, we're elevating care here at home.
You've been there, waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so he can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there, and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware, their locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain Sports.
Orthodontist Dr. Joshua Beeler has been providing family-friendly orthodontics in Sholo and the entire White Mountains since 2006. If you need braces, stop in and see the friendly folks at Beeler Orthodontics and meet their professional staff. Dr. Beeler and his team have the latest in orthodontics technology, and they work with each patient individually to custom tailor the most effective treatment plan for the best results. Beeler Orthodontics is a proud sponsor of high school sports. Beeler Orthodontics, live to smile, love your smile.
When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do.
Payson wins at Sholo 24-15, now running their record to 7-1 for the Longhorns. Sholo continuing to fight. The Cougars record now down to 3-5. They checked in at number 20 in the power rankings and potentially just going to hold serve because you just played somebody with 7 wins. Do you feel like the door is going to remain ajar long enough? If some of these players can come back, the Cougars might be able to sneak in. Because I tell you what, if they come in at the 16, congratulations to the number 1 seed, but now you get to play a fully healthy team that looked like they were going to be a top 4 team.
Right. Well, I mean, Sholo at this point, like you had said, I was actually pretty impressed with how well they did do, just knowing how many guys they had that couldn't even play tonight, plus the ones that they did have that were playing injured. That, you know, it didn't look too promising for this Cougar football team tonight, but you got to give them credit. They just played tough, battled the entire distance, and they were up against a pretty strong team. So I think overall they've got to feel pretty good about where they left the football game tonight. And then as these guys obviously hopefully return, the guys that are injured, it's going to certainly look better for them as, you know, each week heading into the end of the season here.
But already playing with so few available bodies, and now we're watching Zach Maxwell, hobble off of the track as he had tried to go with a bad hamstring. It doesn't look like his availability is a sure thing next week.
It hurt me just watching him play tonight. He had a tough game. I mean, he gave the effort for sure, but you could certainly tell that he was limited.
On the other side of this, I think the biggest question that I have now, having seen Payson for the first time, is how good is Fountain Hills? I mean, they put a quiet number on these Longhorns about to go.
Big time.
This is a legitimately good football team. That, again, if they are, they've got a couple of big games coming up with Blue Ridge, Winslow, and a third that I can't remember, but they're going to be able to move up the power rankings. But they don't. If they stay in the bottom half, this is going to be the situation where a team that fights so hard to get great seeding in the playoffs and might wind up having to run into two full-grown men out there with Klein and Conway.
Yeah, and you never want to obviously wish injuries or any hardship on any team, but the only question I would have too with Payson, obviously they have some really good key critical players in their quarterback and their receiver and some defensive guys, but I'm not sure how deep they are. And there's not a lot of guys standing on that bench and on the sideline there, so like I said, you never want to wish any injuries on any team, but if they were to ever get injuries to key players, I think that could really hurt them.
Final score, 24-15. We will continue wrapping it up right after this at Sholo High School as the Longhorns go 7-1 in Sholo Ford presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Who sells the number one truck in America? Sholo Ford. That's right. Not only do they sell it, Sholo Ford is the best place to buy it. Why? Guy Hatch guarantees it. In fact, he guarantees you'll get the best deal on your next Ford car, van, or SUV as well. It doesn't matter what you buy. Sholo Ford has the best deal. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
At Summit Healthcare, you'll find a level of care you might not expect from a rural hospital. We've recently received 5 stars from CMS, a prestigious ranking that less than 5% of facilities in Arizona earned. Our cancer center has proven its level of advanced care with a national accreditation from the Commission on Cancer. And we continue to add more doctors and services so that you don't have to leave the mountain to find the care you need. At Summit Healthcare, we're elevating care here at home.
That.
24-15, Payson goes to Sholo and picks up a big win as the Longhorns were led by their quarterback, Trevor Klein. He was able to get into the end zone once he was completing 12 of 15 passes for 117 yards. He rushed 27 times for 175 yards and also had 2 turnovers. It was a little bit of the do-everything. And the other big factor that was going to lead to icing this one was just the ball control that the Longhorns had as they hold the football for much of the second half. Though they only were able to score once, they just didn't provide the Sholo offense with a lot of opportunity, though it ought to be said that the Cougars were able to move the football. They just couldn't get out of their own way. Had 2 costly turnovers in the first half, both the red zone, and it looks as if they're going to be able to try to make some noise in the second half. We're going to cut to our Beeler Orthodontics straight line play of the game. Beeler Orthodontics, live to smile, love your smile. The depleted backfield, so much of the effort was going to be in Trenton Beeler's hands, and as he breaks through the line, gets into the second level, gets into Payson territory, fumbles it away. Never seems like he really had a clean give, as Jaeger was really trying to read the option there and just at the last minute decided not to pull that one. But Beeler loses the football and eventually has it recovered by Nick Dimbat. Not Dingbat, Dimbat. He was going to recover that one, and after that it just looked as if not only were the Cougars playing the Longhorns, but they're also playing the clock. Just didn't have enough time.
Yeah, and that turnover really, it didn't kill them completely, but it really set them back overall for the game. It did for the Cougars, so that was a big swing in favor of the Longhorns on that fumble.
So that's the Beeler Orthodontics straight line play of the game, Beeler Orthodontics, live to smile, love your smile. The Deemer's glass shattering hit of the game. When you need glass for your home or business, Deemer's Glass in Lakeside, hands down the best place to call. Quality glass at affordable prices. Deemer's Glass, call 1-888-GLASS-MAN. There's an awful lot we could go for here, as Avila is going to get an awful lot of consideration as he was mixing it up in the backfield. Frequently, there was a couple of hits, which were all flagged, that we're forcing Colton Hager to wear that one. So I don't necessarily know if we have any one. We can just highlight Avila and the Payson front because they were bringing the wood early and often.
Great call. That you're right. There was and we did talk about the play at the line of scrimmage, and Avila from Sholo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of their bigger players up front for sure. But Payson had that huge front, and we did see him do just outstanding work defensively, and really did a great job, along with some of his teammates, sealing off those gaps up front. We saw some really nice hits.
So we're just going with the combined effort for the Deemer's glass-shattering hit of the game. Need glass for your home or business. Deemer's Glass in Lakeside is hands down the best place to call. Quality glass at affordable prices. Deemer's Glass. Call 1-888-GLASS-MAN. And then as we wrap it up with the Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports Player of the Game, this Player of the Game brought to you again by Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. For the best selection of hiking, hunting, fishing, camping gear on the mountain, go to Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports, south of Pine Top on Highway 260. I know we can't give him the nod, but I just want to take one more time here and throw a shout-out at Colton Hager. The sophomore comes in, goes 8 of 16, has 3 costly turnovers, but was able to get 126 yards out there. You could see his confidence really pick up when he hit that first 24-yard touchdown and really just let Payson know that you guys are going to have to go for 4 quarters. So credit out there to Colton Hager, but his contribution pales in comparison to what Trevor Klein was able to do as he goes 12 of 15 for 117 yards, is good for 27 carries and 175 yards, including 2 touchdowns, but also talked about how he had those 2 big picks, one of which took a touchdown off the board. How big was that play now as we consider that one? And, of course, talked about how the sophomore was having a hard time looking away from that receiver, but still, Klein had to come down with it. Shula was going to have another crack had he not been able to come down with that one. And that might we could probably had a conversation about that being the straight line play.
Yeah, for sure. But Klein, as you said, just a good all-around athlete, obviously. And with him running the ball in the backfield, Payson's offense from what they showed tonight, pretty basic, pretty simple, but you can see why they go to him quite a bit. He's just a smart kid, a good athlete. He's big for his size, just a junior, 6'2", 190-pounder. At least that's what they have on the roster here. But they certainly take full advantage of his athleticism.
Walking off the field with the sledge. So your Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports Player of the Game, Trevor Klein, the best selection of hiking, hunting, fishing, camping gear on the mountain. Go to the Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport, south of Pine Top on Highway 260. Last call here at Sholo High School. The Payson Longhorns run the record to 7-1 by knocking off the Cougars 24-15. For Punt Cooley and everybody in the truck, I'm Derek Palmer. We thank you for starting your weekend with us, and we wish you the best of evenings.
Did they? So that's the final?
All right, you guys are done.
Hey, thanks so much.
Thank you, Ash.
Thanks. You guys have a good...
This has been Sholo Ford's presentation of local sports on iTalk 106.7 KNKI Pine Top and iTalk1067.com. Brought to you in part by Northland Pioneer College, Ace Hardware of the White Mountains, Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport, Deemer's Glass, Beeler Orthodontics, Summit Regional Medical Center, Octopus Car Wash, Mountain Mobile Auto Glass, and Little Bluebird Studios. This broadcast has been a copyrighted production of iTalk 106.7 and Country Mountain Airwaves, a Kopaniki communication station. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of this broadcast without the express written consent of iTalk 106.7 or Country Mountain Airwaves is strictly prohibited. For more information on this game and other games around the region, go to iTalk1067.com. This is an iTalk 106.7 Sports exclusive. Local sports are on iTalk 106.7 and online at iTalk1067.com. Presented by Sholo Ford.